think the power of atmosphere in cinema isn't talked about very often. Yet, for genre films, particularly those that fall into the science fiction, horror, or fantasy categories, it's what can give the whole experience its defining edge. Most of my favourite movies are built on fictional worlds, and for films like Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, and Star Wars, much of the selling point of the film hinges on the believability and consistency of this said atmosphere. Atmosphere is, by definition, the pervading tone or mood of a place, situation, or creative work. And this brings me to the original Cloverfield movie by Matt Reeves, which I think needs this particular discussion around the way it builds an engrossing and realistic atmosphere, which is perhaps the most important reason behind its appeal. I'm not trying to argue that Cloverfield is a better or worse film than any of the others I've shown here, but I think there's something to be said about the success of a film with a cult following large enough to build its own cinematic universe. And with a confirmed sequel on the horizon, I think now is the perfect time to talk about what makes the atmosphere of Cloverfield so intriguing. What strikes me in particular about the tone or mood of this film is the way it feels grounded in the chaos of reality. Very early on, we're introduced to Hud, the guy tasked with documenting the going away party, which sets up the first 20 minutes of the film, and things obviously escalate from there. Although HUD is used for comic relief, his main job here is acting as a first-person view between us and the terrifying events of the night. In essence, we are HUD. The clip you're about to see, I think, is the most important in the entire film, signifying a key tonal shift for the story and characters. Note the practicality of the lighting here. The street has a dark orange tone. To me, it signifies this hazardous dread, a feeling of panic and uncertainty, but it's coming from a real, tangible light source, the street lamps. And now, as the scene plays out, note the change in the quality of light, the softening of the tone due to the smokescreen, steeped in an orange glow. But now this all feels more intense. The use of coloured light isn't something we're strangers to. In fact, it's very common in today's cinematic language, especially the orange and teal look. But in most films, lighting like this usually serves as only a mood setter. However, the lighting of Cloverfield serves a dual purpose of setting the tone and providing relatable context to the crumbling world around our characters. Now, take a look at the different yet equally intense atmosphere in this scene, with harsher blue backlighting. The extreme shift in colour and light intensity signifies a major shift in environment and further removes the familiar cinematic quality of soft, seemingly intentional lighting. Here, things feel sporadic, unstable, as if at any moment things could suddenly change. And they do.
I don't feel so good.
Bart! Wait, Bart! Hold on a second, wait a second. Marlena, are you okay? Hey, what are you guys doing? Hold on a second. Wait a second, where are you taking us?
It's really doing a lot to sell the home video camcorder feeling of the whole experience, and lends itself to a chaotic sense of reality. In fact, it reminds me of 28 Days Later, which was infamously shot on a cheaper camera than traditional features, and uses harsh lighting for a more intense, gritty tone, which anchors the film in this world that, in a similar way, feels starkly real but hopeless and dirty. What I love most about this atmosphere building is how much is shown rather than said. How much is suggested through the use of light, or the absence of it. For a film balancing between science fiction and thrills, the atmosphere that's built within each scene is so purposeful, so engaging but grounded, that it really sells its world as something that's only a fraction away from our own. And I think that's exciting as hell.